Hey friends, so I'm not the push gear on you guy because I think it's just gotten out of hand on YouTube and elsewhere, and we really don't need to spend all that money to make great music, right? Right. But every once in a while, there are small builders and innovators doing things that I think should be pointed out, especially when they do something really, really cool. And it isn't too expensive, and it's unlike anything else maybe on the market. And that is the TODP from Brelliott amps. Johnny Brelliott is a mad genius. This thing, so let's get a close look at it. I want you to see this. First of all, it's a tube, or for my British friends, a valve pedal. Yeah, that's right. It's a tube valve pedal. So that's really cool. All the valve pedals I've tried in the past, actually, I've had 4 or 5, and they're all by great builders, Kingsley, Crazy Tube Circuits, whatever, all were super fantastic. And they gave you like this, I don't know, it's not warmth. If you're looking for warmth, that may be a misnomer with tubes. Sure, you get that, but it's more about depth, and it's more about harmonic quality and overtones and many, many other things. So that's what you get with the TODP. But if you look at the switches really carefully here, I'm gonna read to you from the manual, because this thing can do a heck of a lot more than maybe some of the demos I saw so far. And I didn't get it until I got here to England, because I was told Johnny, I'm like, let's not spend like $60 to ship it to America when I was coming over here. So he sent it to my bandmate's house, and I picked it up a few days ago. Amazing. So, it's got a filter, it's got a rec, which is recovery gain, because, like for instance, if you use the germanium, you're going to lose some volume, right? Well, there's a switch for that to recover the gain. The rec switch. So, if you're putting on germanium, try it at 6 dB boost. And if that's not enough, try the 12. It'll certainly get you back or over where you were. It's amazing. There's a filter, a low pass filter. That's the blue knob. Level, of course. The cut is interesting because it's a high pass filter, but it's either bypass or 200 hertz. So if you have a ton of low end anyway, you can cut it before it goes into the overdrive distortion circuit. It's got gain. And then what's really cool are all the options here in the middle. Now, you got germanium, silicon, LED, AB2, which is 2 times the series anti-blocking diodes. That's a half distorted, half overdrive feel. And the AB4, which is 4 times the anti-blocking diodes. It's a more solid overdrive feel. And the N, which is no anti-blocking diodes, the bias voltage of the tube, drops below the bottom rail. The tube pinches, blocks, and compresses. Amazing. Now, okay, that's like all the basic technical stuff. But what I found was really cool was on the second page when he starts giving examples. And if you see down here, right, D style, okay? So you can do a pretty credible, probably better than most of the pedals made for that purpose, Dumble sound. Yeah, you heard that right. So just like a Dumble amp, you get a valve and options to tailor it to your liking. You can get a transparent sound. You can get a D style. You can get, well, let's go through. This is awesome. The asymmetrical SI tube, the J900 LED, because that's what the LED option is kind of for. An 80s distortion silicon sound, a 70s distortion GE sound. These are all in the examples that come with it, right? So Johnny really did his work here and gives you all the options for this beautiful device. So what I would suggest is don't take my word for it. Go check out some demos of the TOPD. And if you really like what you hear, it suits your style, it suits the music that you want to do, you think it might work with your amp or your modeler, whatever you're using, I'm going to put this up front of my HX Stomp XL and my Helix before I go right. So right before I go in both of those devices. And I'm also going to use it, of course, on my pedal board whenever I'm using a pedal board with an amp, with a regular amp. So check it out. See if it works for you. See if you kind of jibe with it. But I got to tell you that Johnny Brelliott really did his job. And he's an awesome dude. I worked with him for a few months before this to get it. And they're selling pretty well. I think he's doing well with them, and there's a reason. So anyway, the TOPD from Brelliott Amps gets a double thumbs up from Big Ed. And you know I don't push gear much, so there you go.